Hey, Erika. Thank you
Hi.
for joining us today. Can you just start by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about where you come from?
Absolutely, Dana. My name's Erika Svendsen, and I'm a research social scientist, and I help manage a program at the Yale School of the Environment called the Urban Climate Leadership Program.
Wow, that sounds great. Tell me a little bit about your experiences working to build community resilience. Where, when, and how did you get to that, and how did you accomplish your goals?
Well, that's a great question, Dana. It's been a long road, and I would have to say that my experience working with communities and resilient processes started when I was just right out of school. In fact, I'm a graduate of the Yale School of the Environment, and we have a very impressive program there called the Urban Resources Initiative. And what it does is it helps students go out into communities and work directly one-on-one to help solve problems, using the environment as kind of a mediator. Trees, how can they be a catalyst for change and restoration and recovery? And what we found over and over and time again, this is really good training for people to have real world experience working in situations that they are unfamiliar with, different cultures, different communities, and to come together with a shared goal and vision. It was really great practice. So I sort of bore witness to resilience early on. I worked with people who were creating community gardens, restoring woodlots, developing trails, and doing this kind of work when services from the city and resources were scarce. So we saw people, in many ways, in very harsh conditions, reclaiming their community, connecting to each other, and becoming very resilient. And so this was a great training ground.
That's wonderful. Can you share a little bit about some of the main challenges that you faced over the course of your work and how you overcame them to the degree that you feel like you did?
Absolutely, that's a great question. Well, many people don't believe that people can be positive agents for change. They may not understand that a small community-based group or a group of friends and colleagues can actually not just exist, but persist and actually have social and ecological outcomes in this world. So it's really important. So as a scientist, I wanted to visualize all the work that community groups were doing at a scale where we could integrate this data with natural resource data and with urban climate data.
Wow. And so did you feel like you overcame that challenge? Were you able to do it?
Well,
and where did you do it?
So as a research scientist, for many years, I worked for the United States Forest Service. And let me add that the Forest Service knows a little bit about disturbance and resilience. And
I can imagine.
Right. So working in the research and development division of the Forest Service, we really worked quite extensively with communities, one-on-one. Well, working so long as basically a community organizer and working with communities to basically restore and regreen their environment, I had a mountain of material, so many stories, so many experiences of watching people join together and work across sectors, disciplines, culture to get something done. But they become just stories. And when we get into scientific discussions, when we're looking at the data, this kind of information is seen as qualitative or maybe just not as significant. So as a research scientist with the U.S. Forest Service, I built something called STUMAP with my colleagues, Stewardship Mapping and Assessment Project. And essentially STUMAP was to kind of visualize all these amazing local small-scale projects and put them on the map, to see people's work as unique polygons, to see the networks people are connected to, and to see how these groups persist over time, and to put this information in conversation with natural resource data, with urban climate data, so we can make decisions that are both ecological but also social.
That seems like an amazing resource. And I'm wondering about, my final question is really about how, given the current political environment, we do know that our world is continuing to warm and that we are expecting that more and more extreme events will hit. So I'm wondering how you can take advantage and continue to expand this work given these times. How are you doing it?
Well, that's a great question, Dana. And for me, it's a little bit personal. I've gone back to where I started, to work directly with people. And I feel that people can be positive agents of change. And I believe deeply that we can reach shared goals and shared missions and work together. So I'm running this program now at Yale, which is really for mid-career professionals all over the world. And they come from different sectors: engineers, natural resource managers, planners, artists, historians, a whole constellation, and focusing on urban climate leadership and trying to kind of band together and create and build a social infrastructure so we can tackle some of these very difficult problems.
That sounds amazing. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to hug you.
Oh,